Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Here are today's headlines. Trinidad and Tobago takes a massive step toward economic revival with the reopening of the Point Lisas steel plant, boosting local jobs, manufacturing, and export capacity. Over in Guyana, the government launches a $900 million hinterland infrastructure program alongside its Model Village initiative, placing direct funding and heavy equipment into the hands of rural Amerindian communities. And on the world stage, Israel secures a major diplomatic victory as Colombia officially recognizes Israel's sovereignty over the strategic Golan Heights. Stay tuned, of course, for the full details up next. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar has announced the reopening of the Point Lisas steel plant, describing the milestone as a vital step in reviving the country's industrial heartland. Wonderful news. Finally, some good news coming out from here in Trinidad and Tobago under this Kamala administration. Hopefully, we'll be hearing the same thing when it pertains to Petrotrin soon. Kamala, try to see if you can probably get America to invest in Petrotrin too. That might be a very good idea. Speaking at the facility, the Prime Minister emphasized that restoring operations at the Long Dormant complex marks a significant return of heavy manufacturing to the estate. Definitely so. The move aligns with wider government efforts to stimulate the national economy, rebuild industrial infrastructure, and bolster domestic productivity. Now, you have to give credit when credit is due. As I said before, this is wonderful news, and they're correct about that. When the middle class is given extra purchasing power, people that end up with these jobs will be basically middle class individuals. And when you empower the middle class and you get with better wages and with employment, your economy will boost people. That is what ends up happening. The middle class is what? The bridge between the rich and the poor. The middle class, of course, when they have these jobs, will have increased purchasing power, and therefore a lot of businesses will reopen or open in those locations, therefore providing jobs for what? The working class citizens. Putting that aside, the thing about it is all this is wonderful, really, really wonderful. But Persad-Bissessar, you need to stop. If you really want to build back some kind of good reputation for the UNC, you're going to have to stop this nonsense about these increasing fees and fines and duties and taxes and so forth. And end the SOE. Yes, continue with your police posts and them. I support that. What you need to do is, of course, mandate body cameras to ensure that the police won't be brutalizing anybody in the communities and bullying people. But the point is, I support that, but end this SOE. Stop it. Stop behaving like a police officer instead of a prime minister. Because these are things that this is really good news. But it's being overshadowed by all the nonsense that you're doing otherwise. And also, you close down CPEP and URP. Good, it was corrupt. It was corrupt. I said so. But you need to provide more jobs for maintenance workers. The working class, give them back their purchasing power as well. They don't have the kind of power that the middle class has, but it's important still. The small businesses still benefit from these maintenance workers having a salary, having an income. Our taxi drivers as well. The plant's resumption is expected to generate a substantial surge in direct and indirect employment across the surrounding communities. I said it already. That is so true. I'm telling you, a lot of businesses are going to open in those areas, which will, of course, provide jobs for residents in that area. Beyond plant operations, local service contractors, transport operators, and equipment suppliers stand to gain renewed business opportunities. Industry representatives have welcomed the announcement, noting that the spin-off effects will provide a much-needed boost to Trinidad and Tobago's broader commercial and manufacturing sectors. You just remember, PNM caused all this nonsense happening in the first place by shutting it down, Anyhow, essential, of course, allowing it to shut down. Essential objective of the reopening is the recovery of the nation's export capacity in steel and processed metals. By restarting production, the facility will supply high-demand steel products to regional and international markets, generating valuable foreign exchange for the economy. That is what we need, people. Not increase taxes, fees, and fines and duties, which causes the money just to circulate in the country and basically go back to the state. No, that is not the solution, Tanku. The solution is to be able to encourage foreign investment so that we can generate more foreign revenue, which adds GDP to the country. You understand, Tanku? Taxku? All righty then. Additionally, and of course, we'll be exporting our products and so forth. Additionally, having a local steel resource will reduce reliance on costly foreign imports, helping lower material overheads for domestic construction and infrastructure projects. The reopening reflects a strategic effort to maximize existing state assets and position the Point Lisas Industrial Estate as a competitive manufacturing hub once again. You see why I say that in a lot of ways, the UNC governs much better than the PNM, but they're adopting a lot of PNM's draconian laws and arrogant kind of style of governance as well, which overshadows the good like this. Government officials indicated that the operational transition will take place over the coming months, with strict emphasis on modernizing equipment and ensuring environmental compliance. Stakeholders view the project as a critical anchor for long-term economic resilience and industrial diversification.
10 years ago, one of Trinidad and Tobago's great industrial operations went silent. The steel plant at Point Lisas shut down.
Workers lost their jobs. Production disappeared. And a major part of Trinidad and Tobago's industrial strength was left dormant.
Now, in 2026, the gates are opening again. Steel is returning to Point Lisas. The former steel operation at Point Lisas is being restored under new investment from Pinnacle Steel and Vanadium Corporation.
A steel plant creates work beyond its gates for skilled workers, contractors, transport companies, and local manufacturers. This gives Trinidad and Tobago another opportunity to manufacture at home, support local business, and earn foreign exchange from exports.
Today, major NGC and BP agreements moved the Manakin-Coquina gas development forward and secured NGC's 20% interest in Manakin.
25% of the gas is expected to support domestic power, downstream industries, and Trinidad and Tobago's light industrial sector.
Put the pieces together: steel, new gas, downstream industry, and the port. Point Lisas is moving again. Industry is returning. Investment is moving. Trinidad and Tobago is building again. Promises made, promises kept.
Trinidad and Tobago weather forecast for Wednesday, August 12, 2026. Wednesday, August 12, 2026 in Trinidad and Tobago will be partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy with scattered showers and a 30% to 40% chance of heavy showers or thunderstorms due to the passage of a tropical wave. Conditions start partly sunny with light rain developing by 8 a.m. The risk of heavy thunderstorms peaks between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. The weather will mostly settle into a partly cloudy night with a light breeze, though a few lingering showers remain possible. Winds may gust violently in or near heavy downpours. Street or flash flooding and landslips are possible in areas prone to them. Seas will be slight to moderate with waves running 1.0 to 1.5 meters in open waters and near 1.0 meter in sheltered areas. Waves may become occasionally choppy during nearby downpours and spring tides remain in effect.
Regional news now. The government of Guyana has launched the National Model Village Initiative along with a $900 million hinterland infrastructure program to directly improve living conditions in rural and Amerindian communities. Under the first phase, 23 pilot villages across Regions 3, 5, and 6 are receiving upgraded roads, infrastructure development under the Irfan Ali administration. I'm telling you, that they're making me so proud, boy, of my grandfather's homeland. Neville Dummett would have been very proud to be hearing what is taking place if he was alive today. Under the Phase 23 pilot villages across regions 3, 5, and 6, under the first phase, 23 pilot villages across regions 3, 5, and 6 are receiving upgraded roads, improved drainage, and safer public utilities, while local service centers like the new facility at Fort Wellington allow thousands of residents to access essential public services close to home without traveling to the capital. Guyana large, you know, so I'll be traveling from wherever you're living in the rural areas and in other areas. How to go to the capital isn't easy all the time. Probably quite costly. In Region 8, the government is delivering $30 million directly to each of the region's 31 Amerindian villages to clear, repair, and maintain local roads and bridges. That's when a government is really desiring to serve you. To support these efforts, the Ministry of Public Works is deploying heavy machinery to regional village clusters and training local youth to operate and service the equipment. By decentralizing funding and equipment, the initiative creates immediate local jobs, providing employment for people. That is good news as well. That's what a government's supposed to do to an extent. Ensures faster repairs during the rainy season and puts development control directly into the hands of community members. International news now. Israel scored a major diplomatic victory on Tuesday, August 11th, after Colombia officially recognized Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. It's very strategic, people. It is important for Israel to continue to own that piece of land, to have control over that territory. Very important to be able to protect that nation, to for their defense, to be able to defend themselves against enemies who want to continuously to destroy. They have the desire to destroy them, to erase them off the face of the earth. And Trinidadians, people don't care about that. No, they pretend they care about genocide, but they don't care about that. They don't care if the whole of Israel get wiped out, you know. Nah. Foreign Minister Gideon Sayer welcomed the historic announcement from Bogota, which explicitly affirmed Israel's fundamental right to safeguard its territory and maintain control over the strategic high ground along its northern frontier. The decision makes Colombia the second nation after the United States to formally acknowledge Israel's sovereign jurisdiction over the plateau, reinforcing the strategic necessity of fortified defense lines to protect citizens against external hostility. Israeli diplomatic leaders praised the move as an essential endorsement of national defense rights and territorial integrity. As you think about it, as I said before, people, that's the only way to be able to successfully defend that country. Because no sort of diplomatic agreements will ever be successful when you are dealing with terrorists who have an ideology and a desire to erase you off the face of the earth in order to usher in the coming of their Messiah. We're talking about the jihadists and them, the radical jihadists and them. Cannot be trusted with any diplomatic deals. You have to always be on the lookout to protect your nation, defend your nation. Government officials emphasize that permanent sovereign control over the Golan Heights provides indispensable strategic depth, establishing strong regional deterrence and ensuring the permanent security of northern communities. The recognition highlights growing international backing for Israel's commitment to defend its borders, expand strategic partnerships, and secure its sovereign interests or against hostile pressure. Federal officials announced expanded energy initiatives designed to boost domestic oil, natural gas, and grid infrastructure projects, aiming to cushion American households from volatile global energy markets. You ain't going to really hear this kind of news coming out from a Democrat-run administration, you know, people. It's always wiser. As much as Trump is making some errors, lack of compassion for migrants and trying to bully Israel and making a set of foolish deals with terrorists in Iran and Lebanon, and he's making a deal with the Lebanese government, but still, Hezbollah is in control in those kind of areas, and then in Gaza most of all, and Iran, craziness, but he's doing a lot of good in America. So always vote Republican. not the radical leftist alphabet soup Democrats, anyhow you take it. The policy measures prioritize accelerating federal permitting, cutting administrative red tape, and incentivizing private sector investment in domestic energy supply chains. Proponents emphasize that unlocking domestic energy resources and strengthening regional production capacity remain essential to stabilizing consumer costs, maintaining reliable power grids, yes, and protecting American economic sovereignty against external supply disruptions. Supporters highlight that unleashing domestic energy development provides a dependable foundation for long-term job creation and industrial growth across manufacturing and rural energy hubs. By focusing on infrastructure resilience, responsible resource development, and regulatory relief, federal leaders aim to build a robust economic environment that supports working families. Officials maintain that maintaining energy independence is a critical strategic priority that ensures reliable, affordable power for businesses and taxpayers while reducing dependency on foreign supply chains.
Psalm 35, 1-4. O Lord, oppose those who oppose me, fight those who fight against me. Put on your armor, take up your shield, and prepare for battle. Lift up your spear and javelin against those who pursue me. Let me hear you say, I am your salvation. Bring shame and disgrace on those who are trying to kill me. Turn them back and humiliate those who plan my ruin.
O Lord, fight those who fight me. Take up your shield and spear. Protect me from my enemies, and say to my soul, I am your salvation. May the angel of the Lord pursue my enemies. May their hidden net catch them, and may they fall into their own pit of destruction.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.